Do you sometimes feel stretched thin? Work is thriving, but in you, you feel like your soul is tired, is exhausted, something is missing, something is not right. Well, there is something that I got to understand, that's something that I got to know that really completely changed the trajectory of what I was doing. It completely changed the compass. Like I was looking to the east and I turned and started looking to the west. And that is what I want to share with you today. Hi, I am Aklin and welcome back to Empire Within Me, where we build empires from inside out. Today, I want to speak to you about something that changed my life. It's something that completely turned my life around. How I was looking at my life compared to my work, to success, to purpose, to why I'm here on earth. It completely changed everything. You know, we've been told about work-life balance, and most of the times it doesn't add up. But there is a reason why that work-life balance doesn't add up. And that reason is what we're going to talk about today. So please stay with me and let's talk about these 5 most important things that you should know, that you must know to be able to thrive, to be able to have peace, purpose, and prosperity in your life. To finally align your life with your work and be able to experience peace, purpose, and prosperity without necessarily burning out. I do not want to waste time. Let's get right in this. The first one is know your core values. We have values in this world, so know your core ones. There are those ones that you can play around with, but there are those ones that are core. If you try to play around with them, you will have frustration in your work. You know, when you have your ladder on the wrong wall, if you have your ladder leaning on the wrong wall, every step you take will take you further from where you want to be. Your values, they are like your internal compass. They show you where to go and where not to go. They don't necessarily shout, but they will always show you through how you feel and tell you you're in the wrong place or you're in the right place. When your work or your life choices constantly clash with your values, you will always feel restless, you feel drained, you feel like something is always off. It means there's a problem with your alignment. Your alignment begins with clarity. It begins with awareness of what you want in life, or what you need to have in life, or what you need to feel, what you need. Is it freedom? Is it family? Is it faith? Is it growth? Because if your work is always against those values, no matter how much hustle you do, you will always feel like you're not fulfilled. Your hustle will always feel unfulfilling. No matter the amount of time, effort you put in, you will always feel unfulfilled. So you need to understand your values and honor them. If you value freedom, a job that micromanages your time will feel out of line, will feel misaligned. No matter the fact that it gives you the money that you want, you will always feel stressed, drained, and fulfilled. So the first step you need to do in your life, whether you have not started working or you have already started working, you can always shift your compass. So the first step you need to do is journal out your values. Those values that you believe, those values that give you peace. So you're going to first start with journaling out your values. If you value faith, if you value freedom, if you value family, if you value anything you value, first write it down. Write 3 or at most 5 most important or the core values, and make sure that you work within the demographics of those values. Because when you go beyond them or if you work against them, it will also be against you. So after journaling out those values, ask yourself this question. It is a journal prompt. Ask yourself this question. Does my work honor these values? Do I feel like I'm going where I want to be with my work? Does it honor my values? If it doesn't, then work towards what you want to honor. For example, I was working in a long distance relationship at my work. I never used to feel comfortable leaving for work. And I would feel like I'm frustrated. Yes, I would go and work, I didn't even know why I would feel like that. There was something that was not quite right, My job was going on well. I was doing fine. I loved what I was doing. But there was some mismatch somewhere. I was not feeling like my hustle was giving me the comfort that I needed. Though I kept on going for 10 years, working and trying to figure out what was there. It was not quite right. My work was okay. My children were okay, but something was not fine and something within my guts was not okay. So, but I would just say, it's my work, and I would just go and work. But when I understood what it means, what values are, what you value, I valued my children being in company of both their parents. I needed him to be there with them. So I did not feel, I was not always comfortable having children alone, looking after them. But I did not want to think about it most of the times. I knew it was work and I needed to work. And he had his work, needed to work. But I was always uncomfortable on that fact. And when I understood values, how values affect your work, how values affect how you feel, I knew I needed to change my compass. So think about your values, note them down, write them down, and ask yourself questions. If the work you're doing right now is honoring your values, if you feel comfortable doing what you're doing, and if you're not yet started working, then it is the right time for you to write out your values, what you feel is more important in your life, and be able to keep checking with it, so that if you're able to map out what you want, then you will cater for your values and cater for the well-being of your life. And these values sometimes change as you grow and evolve. You might find you valued the fact that you needed to have an evening where you are alone and you need that freedom. But you find this time maybe that time you are single. Now you have children and you're thinking about having that full evening on your own, maybe somewhere seated on a beach or something. But if you have children, you'll find that your values have changed. You want to be with your children and maybe have a game. So keep checking on these values as you grow, as you evolve. Check if the values still stand or if they have evolved. And if they evolve, still move with the evolving values. Because it is very important to understand what you want. Because this life is short. We are not here to save the world. We are here to live our life peacefully, have a purpose, and have an impact. For me, my values are peace, impact, and having a free workflow without pressure. So what are your values? After realizing that I needed peace, I needed to have an impact. Yes, I was having an impact, but not as much as I needed. I needed peace, I needed to have an impact, and I needed to have a workflow that is freely flowing, not out of pressure. So you can write in the comments what are the values that you treasure more, so that maybe people who don't know how to look out for values can pick a leaf from what you have written. Now, number 2, define your own version of success. Now forget about what the world talks about success, the standards of the world about success. You cannot live a life and you feel successful in it and feel comfortable and happy in it if you have not defined it, if the definition of that life is not yours. You cannot live a life you love if you're chasing a definition of life that is not yours. So just forget society's standards. What does success feel like to you? So write out a clear version. I always encourage people to write out these things. I have written things down, but they help me with clarity. If there is anything you have not understood in life, write it down. Do research as you write it down. Even in secondary school when we were studying, whenever you are doing some math work or doing something you have not understood in class, just get a piece of paper and write it down. Read as you write. Research as you write. Do the math work as you write it down. Don't look at it and you're like, yes, P is equal to X and like that. Just write it down. It is very powerful. The more you write, if you use your pen to write it down, something that you were supposed to forget in a few seconds, if you take time to write it down, it will stick more in your head. And also you'll be able to come back to that writing and review. So get a habit of writing. It might not be something you love most, but it helps for you to have clarity. When you write down things, they become clear. So Define your version of success by writing down what you think success according to you is. What does your day look like? That successful day, what does it look like? How do you wake up in the morning? What do you do first? What do you feel like you would do in the evening if your day was successful? Write it down and try to work towards that. Working towards it, that might not be something you do in one day. It might take some time, but as time goes on, you will align. Aligning doesn't have to be within a day, but you will align, and the day you align, you will wake up happy to wake up and do the work that you like. So write down, what does my ideal day, a successful day, look like? Revisit this as often as you grow. Revisit and refine your day. If it was feeling like success today, in 3 years it might change. If it changes, then let's go with the flow. If it has changed, then change to that rhythm. So when you write down, how does my day feel like, my ideal day look like, also write down how you would want to feel. How would you want to feel in an evening? How would you want to feel in the morning? Do you want to wake up very early? Do you want to wait and wake up when you feel like waking up? How does your day look like? Your ideal day look like? How do you want to feel? Write all that down and work towards them. So write down even what you want to feel, not only what you want to achieve. I believe success is not about the titles that you hold. It's about how you feel when you wake up aligned with your purpose. So you can write in the comments below how you feel success looks like, how a successful person to you looks like. You will realize in the comments that we have different success scenarios. Some people feel like if I am able to build a house, if I'm able to have my own car, that is success to me. Another person will tell you, if I'm able to look after a number of children in the village somewhere without striving, without sacrificing what I love most, that is success. Or someone will tell you, if I have a family, that is success. So write in the comments below and tell us what success looks like. I want us to confirm the fact that success does not look the same to all of us. We have different perspectives of what success is, but most of the times we don't listen to what our success looks like. We look at the patterns that have been set by the world, what they call success, and you end up draining yourself, looking out for success, thinking you'll be happy in that success, but you cannot be happy in a definition that you do not believe in. And you might not realize that you don't believe in it if you don't get aware of what you believe in. So make your own version of success. Write it down and follow that. Then number 3, accept that you cannot do it all. Accept that you cannot do it all, and you don't have to. You're not supposed to. So there is this lie where they have told us there are certain things you have to do, you must do all the time. It is not possible. We are not superhuman. There are things you can do, and there are things you don't have to do. Alignment is not doing it all. It's not doing too much or doing more. Alignment is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. You have limited energy, you have limited time. Use it with intention. Use it intentionally. Learn to say no to good things so that you can be able to say yes to the right things. Learn to say no to good things so that you can be able to say yes to the right things. Also build your empire in rest and margin. Having time to rest is not laziness. It is sustainability. You cannot sustain something that drains you. So if you're able to work and have some time to rest, it is not laziness. It is trying to have it sustainably. So alignment is doing less with intention. You are not here on earth to be a superhuman. You are here on earth to be strategic, to be able to have an impact and be able to have a peaceful stay on this earth. So if you can achieve both, peace, impact, that is purpose, then you don't need to go beyond. Do what gives you peace. Have an impact. Have a purpose. You don't have to do it all. You are not supposed to. Always remember that you can do anything but you cannot do everything. You can do anything, but not everything. Then number 4, create rhythms that reflect your priority. Now we create schedules and whatnot, but those strict schedules sometimes do not work well with the life that we want to live. Maybe if you are having a job somewhere where you have to reach at a certain time and so on. But if you want this life, if you value another type of life, create rhythms for yourself. Create rhythms that prioritize your purpose, your peace, and your freedom. Balance doesn't magically appear. If you want balance in your life, it doesn't magically appear. You must create systems that support that balance. That means designing weekly rhythms that honor your values, that look at when your soul is active. When is your soul very active? When are you very active? And when do you want to rest? Honor that. Then create routines. Which routines help you to reset yourself? Which routines help you to be grounded? If you want to create better systems in your life, start using planners. Set boundaries and go by them. Block out rest times and protect your you time as if life depends on it. And you know what? It depends on it. Life does depend on your rest time, because if you overdo things, you end up losing the life. You end up losing what matters most. Your life, your peace, your freedom, your joy. So why would you be living? Then those rhythms should help you to honor the seasons of your life, especially for women who are trying to balance life, work, and motherhood, even caregiving. Honor those seasons you're in. If you have very young children, honor the season as though you are dealing with young children. If your children have grown, honor that season and work according to what is available. And always align your workflow with your energy, with your natural energy. Don't force productivity at the cost of your well-being. Then number 5, trust in your inner guide, not the outside noise. Success which is rooted in truth feels like peace, not pressure. You already know more than you think. The world shouts, but wisdom whispers. Learn to tune in into your intuition. When you're constantly chasing the outside validation, you miss out on that still voice, that nudging voice within your soul. And you know what? That soul is always right. Learn to trust that gentle, still, small voice within you. You know, even the Bible talks about when you want to know God, it says just be still and know that He is God. If you're not still, you will not know. Sometimes your greatest strategy is just to be still. It is stillness. So create quiet space. Create a quiet place where you can be able to pray, to reflect, and journal your life. Check in with yourself before you say yes to something. Ask yourself, does it align with my values? Does it help me to go where I want to be? Or is it taking me in a wrong direction? Does it align with who I am becoming? Alignment comes with clarity. Clarity comes when you slow down and listen. Slow down and listen. If you're still in this wild world, you will not be able to listen properly. So slow down and listen. So I'm going to give you a journal prompt for your awareness of who you are, what you deserve in this world, how you should be able to align with your work. Ask yourself a question. Where in my life or work do I feel most tension? And what is that tension trying to tell me? What is that tension trying to tell me about alignment? Or what is no longer aligned within my life? Because some alignments change. If you've been aligned, if you grow, if you develop, if you include other things in your life, if you achieve other things in your life, alignment changes. So what has changed? What is no longer aligned? And write those things down. After all, your writing is very important. I cannot do without writing. And so I implore you to start writing down those things. You will have your mind at peace. You will know what you know. Because when you don't write it down, sometimes you don't think you know it. You think it's just some kind of weird thing in your mind. But if you write it down, then you will know that you know. So if any of these things were helpful to you, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe. Share with a friend that you think needs to rise in their alignment with work and life. Comment in the section about the most important point you got from this discussion. Thank you so much for listening. Have a lovely day. God bless you.